Hey, everybody, one more time for that fantastic film. Unbelievable. And I want to waste no time in bringing out the director, Tom Jones. Come on out. Come on out. Standing ovation.
Thank you.
It's well-deserved. Congratulations on a
so
fantastic film. I know it's been a long time in the works. First thing I got to say, though, is I saw that no animals were harmed in the making of the film, which is great.
Several humans, no
That
animals.
guitar, though, man, that guitar was harmed. It must have been.
3 guitars, Will Miller in the front row, and wherever the fire marshal is, we're sorry. We apologize.
Well, it's such great history, music history, local history. It's heartbreaking at times, it's uplifting, and you really threaded the needle in terms of telling a story with so many different facets. You know, it's great storytelling. And I also know that it wasn't originally the story you set out to tell. So I wonder if you can talk a little bit about like where it started before it became this.
So we started it out to tell the story strictly of the upstage. The woman you saw in the film, Carrie Potter, she's the granddaughter of Tom Potter, and she sent a picture to the chairman of Gibson Guitar. And it said, isn't this a great ad? You should call me. And he slid the picture across the table to me, and I called her and said, great picture.
And the picture was what?
It was Bruce playing a Gibson, and he's known for playing a Fender.
Right.
And we said, tell us about the picture. And she had a whole pile of them, and they were being stored in the attic in Waco, Texas, in 1,000-degree heat. So we're lucky they're not dust. And we brought her out to California, we scanned her pictures. The next time I was here, I went over to the Tom McCann shoe store, and there's a guy loading lumber in the back. And it was on its way to being condos. This is quite some time ago. And we went upstairs, and it was still 1970.
Was it easy to get in, or?
He owned the building.
Okay.
But no one had been up there at all. And the stage was still in place. The paint was still on the walls. In the bathroom, it was gouged into the wall, steel mill rolls. You know, and 40 years hadn't happened. So we started out to make the upstage story, but got a lot more interested in the riot and Asbury Park as a metaphor for the rest of the country. And that really caught our attention. And the notion that it's music that comes across the tracks and connects two worlds. And even in the worst of times, music is always here for Asbury Park. And it's what's brought it back now, and it's long overdue renaissance.
Yeah. The power of music really comes through in this film, you know, in the history of Asbury. And also, I mean, you know, clearly Asbury Park here is it's metaphorical too, right? Like there's a real feeling of, you know, the good old days weren't good for everybody, and
That's
you know,
right.
things that resonate on a national level too.
And I think that's important. I think people get wistful for the good old days, and you know, the good old days weren't so good for everybody. They were for some people, and the great thing about Asbury Park is there's an opportunity for the new good days to be good for everyone. And if we can keep it going the way it is going now, it'll be better than ever. Come back bigger and better than ever.
I love how many local heroes and musicians are in this film and up on the big screen, you know? Like, even before we talk about your big get, you know, there are so many people that you've got in this film that I'm thrilled to see, you know, getting their due from the upstage days on through now. So let's, you know, a lot of those people are here, I think. So let's have a big round of applause for everybody who was in that movie and all the musicians. And it's thrilling to think that audiences around the world on May 22nd are going to hear this story and see those guys. And
and hopefully get the same message that music is our connector. And there's a lot more that brings us together and pulls us apart. And we want to bring that forward. I was thinking while we were watching, when you and I were watching it, this is a movie, but it's also kind of a movement. And we want to keep it moving forward. We want to find a way to spread the message of hope that's happening here and bring it around the world.
I think it was there's a really interesting parallel that you made, that kind of bookends the film in a way between what was happening at the Upstage 50 years ago and what's happening at Lake House now.
2 doors down, right?
Yeah.
It's so interesting, yeah.
And it's bringing together people and kids from different neighborhoods who might not otherwise be together with the power of music. And that's really, really powerful and great to see it's happening now.
Yeah, music's important. Obviously, not every kid's going to grow up and be a musician. But music does something to you. It literally makes you biologically different. It changes the way your brain works. And it's important for kids to have music. And it's not happening in schools. So there's a lot of heroes in this room. John Leader is just one of them. He's bringing music to kids. And, he deserves a round of applause.
Yeah, and these are programs that are being benefited not only by the Asbury Park Music and Film Festival, but also by your movie. When it plays around the world, those funds are going to come and really help out these music educational programs, right?
Yeah, we have high hopes. I think we'll do well at the box office. And like I mentioned before, we have a great deal with our friends at Jersey Mike's. They've really stepped up for us and made that possible. So I'd like a round of applause for them as well.
Yeah, and before this slips away, let me just reiterate what you were saying before the film, that you can go see this on May 22nd, tell your friends to go see it, and the website for tickets and to find cinemas all over the world is AsburyParkMovieTickets.com?
AsburyParkMovieTickets.com.
All right, there we go.
Shameless plug.
No, that's good. We got to let them know. Let them know. The big get that I was talking about before, you were in the audience yesterday when Bruce Springsteen sat up here and told the crowd how he got involved in this film,
right.
Which is a great story. I'd love to hear you tell that story from your perspective. How did that happen?
Well, it was a surprise for me, so I can only pick it up from the night, but we finished the film more or less without Bruce. He was in it, but he wasn't interviewed, and we committed to open the festival. So we finished it. Some of you guys were probably here 2 years ago and we screened it. And Bruce came and surprised us, And not only surprised us, but he got up and he played a whole show with little Steven and then the guys from the Upstage and then the kids from Lake House, which is all great. And it was a great night, but it didn't do us any good for the film because we couldn't use any of that. So I missed the whole night. You guys saw a lot more of that. And I kind of paced around and tried to figure out how am I going to pull this off. And he very graciously called us the next day and said, hey, how do I get in the film? And we said, well, we can figure that out. So we shot him and we got permission to use the concert and we recut the film. And now it's given us something that allows us to take it out the way we wanted to not just here or not just a couple theaters, but really wide. So we have, super high hopes and a big thank you to him for doing that.
Yeah, well, this movie's been a work in progress for so long, and I think you said earlier that the Asbury Park Music and Film Festival has really been a big part of its development, right?
It's a product of the festival, really. We started. I'm not going to say how long ago. It's embarrassing, but we started a long time ago, and we put it away. And when this festival started, Tom Donovan called and said, "Do you want to show clips from that thing you're showing the Upstage?" And we literally couldn't find the box. I mean, we had put it away. It was in storage. Yeah. So we went and found it, and we showed a couple clips, and there was real great enthusiasm. It was a packed room. I thought, well, maybe we'll try and finish it up. So we've been at it in earnest a few years, but we started a long time ago.
Yeah.
A lot of the people you see in the film are unfortunately no longer with us, so it's great.
I love seeing Dolores Holmes up there. Yeah.
Little Vinnie Roslin, some really great people that are in it. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many great elements in the film. I feel like it would be fun to talk about it all night. Because one fun thing is. There's so much interesting footage along the way. As a documentarian, your ability to uncover photographs. I mean, Harry Potter's photographs. That's everything that you see from inside the Upstage. Boy, that's a moment in time.
They're terrific. I think, to be absolutely honest, I think they're Jim Fehner's photographs. The guy who did.
Well, she got them from her grandparents.
Yeah. And Tom liked to take pictures, but truth be told, Hank Fehner was taking the pictures. And he's a great guy, and he also put together the wall sound. And we tried to really report the story almost journalistically. So everyone in it didn't write about music, but was a musician. Everyone didn't write about the riots, but were in the riots.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of, evolved and spilled out, and it was nice that way.
Right. And in terms of, other historical documentation, footage, photographs. I mean, there's so much up there, like the doors at Convention Hall,
Wasn't that great?
and
Yeah.
film from inside Palace Amusements. What were some of the finds that thrilled you along the way? Pieces of the puzzle.
One thing is that all the really landmark photographers for Bruce were super generous with their work, and they allowed us to use it. So all those great pictures, that great Born to Run cover session with Eric Miola.
Yeah.
I mean, great. And
I mean, there was a lot there. Eric Miola, Barbara Pyle, Barry Schneider.
yeah. All, they all showed up for us, which is great. And we love that the record party, the Southside Johnny record party. That was a coast to coast radio thing, and that we had to dig for that. And I love that Rolling Stones at Convention Hall. That's someone's home video, and it's obviously dark, but it's just great. It's just great to see.
Did you put a call out, or how did you collect all that stuff?
Little by little, well, Amy Fisher at Halo really put it together for us. It just kind of, we beat the grass. She beat the grass, and she found it, and little by little, people found. Some woman delivered us 4 cans of footage from a failed documentary. It didn't quite make it, and it was just beautiful stuff. I'm not quite sure why she didn't finish, but it's a real moment in time. It's I'd say the early 80s, maybe 81. And some of the Palace stuff, it was really great stuff. She's never quite got finished. So we got lucky in a lot of times.
And you're from here. I mean,
I am.
You've done a lot in your life, and I'd be curious to talk about your CV a little bit, because you've done some things that I did not know about that paved the way for this. You grew up here. So, when were you here, and when were you delivering Pepsi on the West Side?
Yeah, so my high school and college job during the summer was I was a Pepsi driver, and that was I graduated from high school in '79. So I caught the very end of Asbury Park, before it really started to go down. And when you're the summer guy, you're always the low man on the totem pole. So I'd run everyone's route when they went on vacation. And Butchie Zaccaro ran Asbury Park, and I'd get it a couple weeks of summer, and I just loved it. And I'd walk around and say, boy, this place should be something. It should come back. And, it went down, but now it's on its way back up. So, but those great turn of the century hotels were still up, but they'd become kind of light duty mental institutions, and the rods are still up, but they're on their way down. Mrs. J's was still there, and the Orchid Lounge was still there, and I delivered to all those places. And my eyes were out on sticks. I was 17 years old. But it was great, and it's great that we've been invited into the life of this town to be able to tell the story. And this musical story, because it's near and dear to these guys' hearts.
Right.
And I feel very privileged to do that.
So you heard the reaction, and it was an incredible reaction.
Good, yeah.
But I was curious, as I'm sitting there next to you watching the movie, it's been a work in progress for so long. When you watch it now, do you feel like, that's done? Or do you feel like, is it, do you still have things you'd like to tinker? Or do you think, okay, this is finally, we're there?
No, it's done, because I'm anxious to get to the next thing.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to get on to the educational part, because it's a movie with a mission. I mean, we're really going to steam forward. So this is like our advertising to get to the meat of the matter. So I'm super excited to get there. And it's taken us a long time. So, I've got pent-up demand to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on finishing it. Congratulations on how freaking great it is. It's a thrill to see you here with everybody today. And knowing how near and dear the educational mission is to you.